good morning. Let's see. Okay, my microphone is working. Woo. Well, I'll stand by good morning for now. Dogs weren't quite as big as assholes as they generally are. Okay, just making sure that the microphone is not picking up the TV. Oh, my goodness. So, it is the long session today. So yesterday I got lots done that I finally actually wanted to get done. I got my new set of drawers up here, which they're amazing. I don't have all the drawers up yet because I have to peel labels off the front of them and goog on them and just rinse them out in general because they've been sitting empty for a while, so they're kind of dusty and grody. But I have a lot of little things that are gonna fit beautifully in there. I mean, it's a med chest, so it has one really big bottom drawer where I put all of my all of my wooden all of my embroidery hoops, both the ones I use for the painting and the ones that I use for when I actually cross stitch with a hoop. All of my framing stuff all went in the big bottom drawer, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 4 drawers each, and these are, let me go grab a drawer to show you guys just how big these drawers are. They're about 3 feet. So I got 4 rows of these, and I have a lot of organizing. I gotta break into some shelves and other drawers where I was like, okay, I can just toss these in here because they come with separators too. I can notch them out. It is really, really, really awesome. Which kind of melon? Well, what kind of melon is it today? Ooh. It's a good source of water and sugar. Healthy sugars, that is. I don't know why people are super duper concerned about the type of sugar. It's not refined sugar. It's fruit sugar. Ha ha. Oh, now, so this is what immediately popped into my mind when I saw that. I saw your munchkin because well, yes, I am bigger than your munchkins. But that's not what popped into my head. I had an immediate mental image of husband creature having a watermelon and having a shit-eating grin on his face while he's eating the watermelon, as the little one tries to attack him for it. Because I've seen small children attack husband creature, and it's just hilarious. Because husband, because he just is like that's the best way to describe. And I'm speaking of Aaron. The first time I met Aaron is what pops into my mind. Just his cousin, just out of nowhere, like out of left field, just flew and like tackled him, and he was like, and. I mean, at our I love watermelon. Don't get me wrong. I love watermelon. Um, I'm lazy, and I will buy the big ass tote that's already caught up, like the big containers. I can get them at my grocery store, and yes, it costs a little bit more, but I don't have to do any of the work. I think I think I think Walmart does it, but I prefer, like, I'll shop at Walmart for many things. Fresh things is not one of them. Mm-hmm. So the section I'm working on today with this color will really like fill out a giant gaping hole of white. um, I was looking at this color yesterday, and I'm like, where am I gonna work on this? Because it's getting, even though it still has 400 stitches left, it's getting kind of speckled out. So I was just like, hmm. So I picked this spot because it starts up in this corner, and it goes down into this area here. So I'm well, yeah, yeah, you have to buy it in bulk. We can't buy that much fruit in bulk. And I would trust Costco for fruit. They tend to they seem to have a less sketchy practice than the Walton family. But we don't have a Costco around here. We have BJ's. We have BJ's and Sam Club up here. Also yesterday, I finally got around to charging charging my one of my security cameras that for 11 days has been hit and miss because it'll solar charge. Um, but it's just so active on that particular side of the house that it just tears through the battery sometimes. Because the neighbor has like 50 billion people coming and going at all hours, and the camera's like, Uncle, Uncle, and it's because we have to cross the road. It's not like I have it aimed at their house, but because they have to cross the road to get to their vehicles, and I do have a motion area on the road because if someone's coming up to the house, I would like to have the cameras running as they're coming up to the house. What? Wow, that's fruit. That is some fruit. We, after stream, I got my rose bush. I've started to weave my rose bush, so after the debacle, like, I even have a TikTok on it. I even made a TikTok. That's how much, like, an actual TikTok and not just filter fun. About how that even though my roses got pretty much cut to the ground and I had to regrow them from scratch, um, that I could do it. Now the roses have come back and they're doing very good. It's if I wanted to trim them, they would be long stem roses, just cut off all the extras, but I like having the smaller blooms, but the fragrance is just the same. So I'm starting to weave. I had them in actually a really nice braid, binding themselves together in an arch. And now I'm working on weaving them together. But they have thorns. They're like thorns. So I have to take my time in placing all the greenery and trimming out the dead greenery. And yeah, it's a process, and I was very pissed when it happened. And I did notice when I went out there to start, because I was taking care of the part, they had mowed intentionally. They like left a girth around the area where the roses were. So my message was sent to the homeowner appropriately. And I cleaned up that area of the yard, and I had no problem doing it. I made sure that I got my roses out of arching over their area of the yard. I cleaned it all up, and they didn't touch my roses, and they didn't touch my boats. Husband creature will get that joke. They didn't touch my roses, so I was nice, and I cleaned up all the mess, and I got it all set, and they're now closer together, and now once it dries out again, I'll start picking at it day by day. But they were all over the place. I got, at one point in time, it was like a bear hug with the thorns. They were right in the center of my back, but not deep enough to actually puncture. And that, my good friend, gets you moderated. Sorry, I have to do the things. Unless Jules is around. Jules, if you're around, this is your chance. Well, you sometimes are busy, but have fun. Dragon, do you want to have superpowers so you can hurt people's feelings? Because I can do that. I think Jules can do that too. Husband creature, do you want to be able to hurt people's feelings? If I could remember how, that would be fantastic. It's been so long. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go. Doop, doop, doop. Oh my goodness. I can't hear you, my love. I can't even type. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Eh. 2 years ago was when I last modded anybody. Okay, so Dragon, I'm not doing this to be mean, but in order to make you a moderator, I have to take away your VIP. Okay, I think I did it. Maybe. Again. Well, okay. Yo. Okay. Poof. Okay, so if you're a VIP, you can't be a moderator. And honestly, I think they're like in my brain they're the same. Like, because if you're a very important person, I trust you to do the things. And husband creature and I can have a conversation about what I'm gonna do to him later. No, it was fruit by the foot. Or was it fruit roll ups or fruit by the foot? Fruit by the foot. Gushers. You know, well, because they gush, you know, like, yeah. I don't know if we want to dive down that rabbit hole on stream. That's kind of what I was thinking. Hey, to be fair, you get warned before you log onto this channel. It asks you if you are ready for the conversation you're about to have. I see rainbows and stuff. Cool. Ah, I got lost. I hit all the buttons. Let's see, who do I have? Oh, let's see. Oh, I continually maintain and make sure that we are still labeled as a mature channel. Even though, like, the reason the rating is there is because we have potty humor. Um, I think we need to update the rules to be like, be polite, be considerate, be warned that both the streamer and all of her followers never know what's going to leave their mouths. Let's be surprised. Sometimes I'm even surprised. or are we the best bunch to put on speakerphone? Dooby-doo. Oh my goodness. In all of the rearranging that I've done thus far, like, mind you, it hasn't been a lot. I've I truly moved just enough to be able to get the cart into the corner where I wanted it, but I've I've made it so I can reach a lot more things. Okay, not around kids. Yes, because while I'm not like terrible, I do have a potty mouth. I try not to swear around children, but at the same time, they're gonna hear it at some point. Um, my rules for swearing, and mind you, I didn't swear a whole lot till I really, yeesh. College. College is really when I started getting more of a potty mouth. Um, but I knew how to use the words appropriately. Make sure your children know how to use their swears grammatically in a grammatically correct fashion. Make sure they know that cunt is 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 a noun. Fuck is fuck is all parts of speech. uh, yeah, and I I've managed to get mine internalized. Like I mimic, and if I like someone's speech pattern, I will borrow it. Um, funny, it's a really the echo the mimic and the echolalia really comes in handy with old people. Because I can mimic their speech patterns, so I sound like someone from where they're from, and it makes it it confuses them. Um, oh, oh my goodness, that's fantastic. I was a little confused. But a cat on the interstate would probably make me say that phrase. But yeah, so it was so funny. Yesterday, as soon as stream stopped, uh, husband creature and I got outside to do the outside stuff, like scoop the yard, um, mow the yard. I wrangled roses. I deadheaded all of my irises because my irises were beautiful when they were blooming, but after the blooms die, it just looks like ass. So I deadheaded all the irises so that their greens are still very nice and they'll show off, but I don't have to look at the plant is not trying to pump energy into the dead flowers. Oh my good. Oh yeah, yeah. You should hear husband creature when that happens. See that honestly, and this is where I should hindsight being 2020. This is where I should have noticed that my mom's brain wasn't normal is because she didn't care that I swore, though she didn't appreciate it. Um, she got more upset when I used them in inappropriate contexts. So, as long as I was being grammatically correct, she really didn't care. Which is, and verbally, I am pretty proficiently grammatically correct. Written down, I look like my words on paper roughly come out to derp derp, derp 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 derp. Not to be said, not to be fooled. I can write, and they are actual words. I am just a huge fan of run-on sentences, and they run marathons. And people are. I saw a TikTok by Spence, and he's like, some of you have pointed out my interesting speech pattern. And then he goes on to talk about how he verbally uses commas. And I had to comment because I was like, you use the commas that I don't. And it was just so funny because I don't get a lot of Spence in my feed anymore, and it makes me sad because he is a fantastic person. 11 years sober, by the way. He hit that anniversary a few weeks ago. 11 years. So if you see him running out in the wild, 11 years sober. Oh, I got a shoe to the I got a boot to the head. The first time I called my mom a bitch, but that's because I was being grammatically correct, but she didn't appreciate that one. and when you tell someone you use a period or a comma when you take a breath, I have practiced cylindrical breathing, so I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on without a whole lot of breathing. So, might wanna... I can go. I can be a talking athlete, or I can be quiet. There's no in between. I giggle at the people who say oh yeah. So at work, after I've done my med pass, it's 9 or 10 at night, and all I really want to do is sit and process my thoughts. Because I've done a lot of done a lot of like mask switching. I've done a lot of things. So at the end of the night, I'm actually very, very quiet at work. That and people are trying to sleep. But teenager, she's like, "You're so quiet. Why are you so comfortable with the quiet?" And I look at her and I point. I don't even remember what craft I was working on. I was like, I have this. I don't need to talk. So. Oh yeah, she has gone through trials and tribulations. She is still there. She has taken the learning opportunities given to her, and she has actually learned from them. So I don't have. While she's not who she was a year and a half, 2 years ago. She has grown. She has learned. She's still young. She's turning 21 in a month. So we'll see where that goes. But sometimes the sacrifice isn't a physical sacrifice. Emotional sacrifices occur as well, and I'm sure she's paid a few of those. have the fire roaring again out back, and I was hearing the crackling. I'm like, okay, okay, it's just the crackling of the fire. It's not any of your structures falling down. I worry about that. I worry about my creatively assembled structures collapsing. Even though the S hooks being used to hold up the TV that has the things that make the crackly noise are rated for. I think I bought the carabiners that have the strength for 500 pounds. So I still worry about these, even though the TV is not 500 pounds. Behind us, I don't even know. It's an apartment building filled with people in various stages of drug addiction. And they have like a little pit fire going almost all the time, at least during the day. As long as it's not like just downpouring, they have a little pit fire going. And it snap, crackles, and pops because I'm sure they use the same things that I do when burning things, is they use scrap wood that they found around the neighborhood. In my case, it's scrap wood that I've yoinked out of the house that I went, why did we need this here? And I have yet to regret pulling any weird things out of the house. I even it up, like. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, and yeah, I don't see in my brain that doesn't click. It is as long as we don't have that problem here. So something I have trouble breaking over is Maine has a very high water table. Even if a good portion of it is salt water, Maine has a very high water table. So when Maine goes into drought, it still has a higher water table than most of the states. And I try to like water rationing. I try to be healthy with my water use. I don't flippantly use water to the point where my toilet runs a little bit more than it should, because we needed to take the time to drain it, take its guts out, and replace the guts, because the guts have been in there for 15 years and they're plastic, so they're starting to warp. And the seals and the O-rings need to be. The toilet needs new guts, is essentially what I'm trying to get out there. Because it runs. The floater doesn't pop up as it should anymore, and sometimes the arm gets caught on the seal. so it keeps the seal open so the toilet doesn't actually fill. So yeah, and I get nervous about that, and it's generally only running for like 5 minutes. Sometimes it runs a little bit longer, but I mean, my water bill, we only use about 12 cubic feet every 3 months, so we don't use a lot of water. I have all the low water use. My washing machine weighs the load before it starts its cycle, so it's like I do what I can, but I don't have the experience in my brain of drought. Which is weird for me. Like, I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have that insert. That add-on is not installed on me. I will make my fire if I go somewhere and I have a fire. I will make my fire a hot soupy mess before I leave. It will be out. I will stomp it. It will be mush mush. And I get that. Like, I understand that it's not an add-on I want, but it's just not installed. Just like, okay, so ice storms. This might bring up Jules. Jules's PTSD. So in 1998, Maine had a horrific ice storm, which decimated. I only lost power for 5 days. I think Husband Creature lost power for significantly more time. But it was beautiful and it was awful all at the same time. This entire state just got coated in ice, like so heavy that it. I have pictures. They're actual pictures that I'll have to find to show people that it was ice, just ice. How to explain an ice storm? So it was freezing rain coming down, but when it landed, it turned whatever it touched into ice, and then it accumulated. I think. Let me pull up some stats. Itsume! Let's see. Okay, so this struck a relatively narrow swath of oh my goodness. Yeah, if you Google Ice Storm of '98 on YouTube, News Center Maine did a really, really good look back as to what the ice storm was. It I mean, we've had ice-ish storms in the meantime. Like, Husband Creature and I live on a hill, so so like, if the roads get coated and not properly sanded and whatnot, and it's been freezing rain, we're stuck. But I remember one winter, I couldn't even walk off my porch because the ice had just coated everything. That's what we have to worry about out here. I mean, California has its wildfires. We have massive snow weight and ice that we worry about in the cold areas. And I think they're right up there with the fear of tornadoes. They can be just as destructive. But I am happy that we only have the blizzards, because the blizzards need certain, like, yeah, I understand everything else needs certain conditions. But once it stops snowing, we can generally like negotiate around. Like once it stops firing, you still have to worry about, hey, are there hot spots? Like, yeah. Sume, we were just talking about natural disasters and how I don't have the wildfire fear installed in my brain, and um, I've seen wildfires. I've seen the destruction. That I have those. I have those. So I've seen the pictures, so I know what they do. So I was sharing my my natural disaster trauma with the ice storm of '98 up here in Maine. Landslides from the excess water. Yeah, earthquakes. There are so many reasons California is not the place for me. I can deal with 3 or 4 months of, oh fuck, it's gonna snow a lot. Maybe we've had some pretty shitty winters. Like there have been moments of, oh fuck, but the past winters have been just really shitty. Like I I it's a stretch to call them winter. And to me, earthquakes are terrifying. Mhm. Open creature, how long did you lose power in '98? I know you've told me before. I just forgot. And Maine, we had the little ones. We've noted that we've had the little ones. Mhm. Ooh, it was a bit ago. Um, I was a sophomore in I was a sophomore in high school. I had had diabetes for a little over 1 year. Jenny, my friend Jenny, husband creature knows Jenny. Jenny, her house lost it from the source, so it came off her house, and CMP had to restore the lines everywhere else first. So she was close to 2 months without power. Luckily, her family had a generator, and like all of her relatives were really close by, so they just kind of and they heated with a wood stove, so they were pretty all set. But 2 months with no electricity. I mean, we had a tornado warning just a couple days ago. It was not a zero. How was the wording? It was not a zero chance of having a tornado. It wasn't a very high chance, but it was not zero. Hurricanes are hurricanes are very rare. by the time they get up to us, our water was so cold that it was like really bad rainstorm. But it has been noted that the Gulf of Maine uh, has very much started to warm up enough that it could potentially start feeding a hurricane. Not like Caribbean feed the hurricanes, but even still, even giving a hurricane a little bit of power is iffy. And that's where it comes into play that we're at a high point of the city. If I have waterfront property, yeah, it is. It is like, I mean, I think we had nurse sharks. Um, Tornadoes are weird. Like I'm super fascinated with how they form because the hot air and the cold air actually have to dance. They have to spin. They have to have both. It's just in my brain like the creation of a tornado, and it's very similar to the creation of a thunderstorm is the hot and the cold air. Like I wanted to be one of my special interests when I was little is meteorology, and it was indulged a little bit too much. So I do I do know how a lot of the weather systems are formed, but it's always just so artistic in my head, like the 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 dance that a tornado has to do, where a thunderstorm is the cold air just rushes in and then bitch slaps the hot air, and the hot air goes fuck that noise, and that's how a thunderstorm is made. Yeah, the wildlife is changing. Like it's it's not it's not safe it's not a safe place to be. Um, I like for I always like think of how a house could survive. Like I know that like in Tennessee that like in the South they don't really have basements because of like I know in Florida they don't have basements because it gets really swampy. Um, but like using appropriate building materials, and then it comes to play that yes I recognize that um, you just can't sometimes, but for me like with the technology that we have, we could easily in hurricane heavy areas rubberize, and I know that's not healthy for the environment either, but rubberize the outside of houses and dig into the ground and have solar powered pump systems or even drainage systems, and have a rubber coated house in the ground. Like it'd still be able to take the roof off kind of deal. At the same time, like, and these are just ideas that flood my brain when I think about trying to save a person's home in an area where they know the weather is going to be wild. Um, and that's why our roofs here in New England, you will see some steep ass roofs. It's to slough the snow off. The snow and the ice cannot stick to a surface that is steep. And if it can, that's where we have roof rakes. But when we don't, flat roofs are a bad idea in New England. We have them, but they're a bad idea. Yeah, and but I'm always thinking of how, because in areas that just have floods, you could always build a house on stilts, which I think is phenomenal. Like, again, Jenny, she had a lot of land, and one of the areas in her land, someone at one point in time had built a house on stilts. Like they lived in this house, and then then when Jenny's family bought the land, they obviously they left the house, but it was a house on stilts. It was really, really cool, and it made me have more imagination about a house on stilts. But that does not help if you're getting high winds, because, yeah. But with technology now, if it's flooding, there could be a hydraulic system that could, in theory, and I know these are expensive ideas. I recognize that these are fucking expensive ideas, but a hydraulic system that lifts the house up. If you don't have a basement and just a crawl space, have a framing system with hydraulics that lifts your house up. But yeah. I have rich people ideas on a Toyota budget. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My weird TED Talk of, hey, I sat down and thought about this. Oh yeah. Where I work, um, they only have certain plugs that have the generator attached to them. We lost we lost power. There was a ice not an ice storm, but there was a snowstorm where we lost power. Even we lost power. I think that was the time I think that's the time that the transformer got bounced off um the lines, and they I always ask about the generators, because if I'm working, all of the management and all the maintenance people have left. We have a maintenance guy. He acts as security on the overnight shift, and the maintenance person for the day shift leaves at 5. So if something breaks and it's major, our maintenance manager lives in Winterport, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away. And if it's really breaking, you need to have someone who knows how to fix it and is confident in utilizing the tools needed. That person, when I'm on, is me. And so I ask questions. Does the generator automatically turn on? If no, how do we turn it on? It's an auto switch. Does it have gasoline? Do we need to fill it? Where are the tanks? Our generators are powered from natural gas, and it's pumped right into the system off the city line, so I don't have to really worry about anything. If something goes wrong, there's nothing I can do to fix it. So, but those are questions that I ask, and I think I went the wrong direction. Were they doing work? Like sometimes they do that. Let's see. I when I have to go out to my therapy. Speaking of slow ass drivers, now that it's officially the summer months, when I go to my therapist, I have to use 1A, which is the major route down to Bar Harbor. So I feel that. I feel the slow. I feel the slow drivers. Okay. Oh, so I don't know how well. Oh yeah. So I finally in my cleaning, I got one of my. I gotta get some better matting for it. But I got my woodland enchantress out and on the wall again. Whew. What frustrates me is sometimes they have the scheduled power outages that they don't tell anybody about. 3, 4, and I have the city and the power. I have their alert emails. Like so when they send out maintenance things, I get emails even if it doesn't pertain to me. I get the emails of what they're doing. Oh, and a lot of it is our power grid is shit. It's old. It's old. It might have been really good when it was new, but it's old. It can't handle the power load. Like my my house. You know what when something turns on and your power dims, that's pushing the grid. We are certainly pushing the grid at the house because when our ACs kick on, it dims the power. Now we have LEDs. We're not drawing a whole lot, but it's the switch over to a circuit breaker um, with an additional load is inching up my to-do list. Yeah, the unplanned ones suck because generally it's a squirrel that jumped into the. Up here, it has happened more than once that a squirrel has jumped into a substation and fried itself and knocked out power. I have no sympathy for the squirrel. That is so weird. That is that. I mean, I've spoken to many an electrician, and I know that I can do all the setup work myself as the homeowner, and I can pay an electrician for an hour's worth of work to come in and check my work and sign off on it. Obviously, if I do it wrong and they have to fix something, it can last longer. But if I do it properly, I can pay an electrician to come in and double check to sign off, so that I could have my the line from the power moved over to a new line and box, which I need to do because the current line is not in a not in one of the pipes. I forget its proper name now, but and I want to have it in a PVC pipe going up, and so the stuff and things can be just moved over. Uh, but that's a little bit more down the line. But fuses, heard the argument that fuses are safer than circuits, because when you blow a fuse, you can't just flip it. You can't just flip it and just have everything be hunky dory, because circuits have a lot more give. If you keep blowing fuses, you're obviously gonna figure out why you keep blowing a fuse, because they get expensive. you're gonna go figure out what keeps blowing the fuse. Yeah, I've had that happen before. I think it was with our microwave. We had to get a new microwave because our old one kept tripping. There was a short in it, so it kept tripping the fuse. And when I say tripping, it kept breaking the fuse. So after like $15 worth of fuses, I'm like, we need a new microwave. Oh my goodness. And yeah, you gotta check. So it was fine at your house, but they didn't check the entire system. Oh, oh, the huge fuses are scary. I have we have the main fuse to the house, which is not it's not a dainty thing, and it is scary. But I have a healthy respect for electricity, because I hearing it all the time gives me a respect for how much power it has. 360 of this color left. Ooh. We're at least gonna hit 95 and a half today. I am hoping to sink a few hours. Let's see. I'm mathing out my path, because there's a clump of color that goes down here and ends in here, and then another path that starts up and goes down this way. So I'm gonna finish out the clump here, and then I'm gonna do some more migrating. Huh. Okay, so I've done minimal electrical work in my house. I put a light switch in the kitchen because we used to have pull strings, and it used to only be over the sink and over in our laundry area. So they were pull strings, so it was kind of a pain in the butt. So I have installed a light switch in my kitchen, which I was paranoid for a while. But it works. But what I really need to do is I need to spend some quality time in the basement putting junction boxes in, because we have live wires hanging out in the middle of nowhere with no junction boxes around them. So I need to take some quality time and go down there and secure the wires in a junction box. And it's not even from lack of having them. It's just, I don't even have a reason. It is just because. We do. It's the having to pull power and the basement being dark, but we have the technology, we have the tools to work around that now. Oh, Carl! I mean, I have my dad who, wired nuclear reactors for submarines, and we're still here, so he must have done a good job. I mean, as long as you're careful and you make sure that there is no power, like I have no problems doing new construction. If there is nothing attached to any of the wires that I'm working on, I have no problem. I don't even bat an eye. I will wire things but it's the old stuff that I'm modifying that I get antsy about. even though when I do stuff like this, I take all the old stuff out. Like, it's not like I'm joining new stuff to old stuff. Like, I take all of the old stuff out when I'm doing all of this work. If I'm replacing. If I'm just moving it around and it doesn't, if it doesn't need to be replaced, I don't. Like, my house has wiring from the 80s. And it's not, it was done professionally in most areas. Some areas not so much, and that's the areas where I get wonky. Oh. Hi, Peg. Well, that was inappropriate. Hi, Peg. Nice. Ooh, nice. I have two more flowers to make. Two more roses to make, I should say. And then I have the finish work on two of the roses to make them the bridesmaids specific flowers. And then assembly. And a lily. I gotta make a lily too. But tonight the two roses should probably be done. Because nobody puts baby in a corner? Let's see what I can do. I just had a brilliant idea. Now that I actually have room for it, because I made room for it. Let's see if I can do this. I can. I can. Not the best posture, but bring back the E. Yes. Yes, bring it back. Time to move. Time to move over. What did you break? Sume. Did you have to pop something that hurt? And then Oh yeah, I understand that. So I'm gonna give you a weird weird ass little hint. Um, if you get finger stick Lancets and you don't need a prescription to get these, they are super duper 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 fine, and you can put them in like if you have the white or the black head, you put them in that spot where there's very little feeling, and you could just stick it in and then you yoink up a little bit, kind of like Dr. Pimple Popper, and it makes enough of a hole for it to release the pressure. And then you can squeeze, and it has a little bit more room to move stuff. Yeah, I know. I mean, no, no. I genuinely enjoy. At least I didn't suggest a sewing needle.
My mind is like a hive. The thoughts intrusive,
Oh,
bees buzzing
so
through
you
distract me with
steam your
noise.
face, and it'll show itself.
They collide within my mind, and I struggle to think with my thoughts
Let's see how
collide.
let's see how much of Jules's schooling we can make scream at her.
Lost in thought, I wander down a
A
path
hot
leading nowhere.
compress on your face
Necessity leads me
will
astray,
raise any
and thoughts and
irritations.
emotions swirl. Though the bees can get overwhelming, the inspiration they mold in their buzzing leaves a
Yeah,
fine
the danger
print,
zone is dangerous.
a reminder of the power I hold. So I embrace the bees within my brain, even when they drive me insane. For in their chaos, I find a refrain,
That's why we have Kenny
a
Loggins.
complexity of my inner terrain. You will never understand that this is my norm, and I have chosen.
I get the danger zone. Well, not it's not the danger zone, but those invisible ones. I get them on my chin when I get them. Yeah, yeah. Well, your nose is sensitive. But yeah, I totally understand the relief, the pressure. Yeah, it's actually yeah, it's right here to here, or there's also your eyes. There's sides of eyes down to top of your mouth as well. Like it's like two triangle danger zone where the mushy bits are. Yeah, yeah, I feel it. What was it? What? I'm trying to think. Salicylic acid as a weekly treatment can help. I'm gonna be upfront with everybody here. I've never had an acne problem ever. I have I have really nice skin. Um, which I need at least one organ that's working, and that happens to be my skin. Um, I do get three zits. Depends on where they are, but they're always right near each other every 3 months, and then I pick at them, and it's just it for like a month every quarter I have face issues. um, I've never I've never had a skincare routine. I wash my face, but that's about it. Like, I don't, I can't speak on behalf of bad skin conditions because that's an add-on that I didn't get installed, and I'm not, I don't want anyone to think, oh hey, Roz being like, I'm better than, no. I have one organ that works for me, just one. I try to take care of it. But yeah, from what I've gathered, because I like to watch Dr. Pimple Popper, is once a week, the salicylic acid is a good all around balancer. I I wasn't gonna volunteer Jules, but Jules can volunteer herself all she wants. Two, four, six, two. I love that. I love that. I love that you and your ancestors. I can see that. Like, so my nana is absolutely adorable. And in her younger years, she was very roly poly. My nana is she. I love her. I love her so much. But I think my nana and Jules have very similar feels. Like, how I interact with Jules is pretty much how I have conversations with my nana. Um, and there's no, don't take no offense in that. I adore my nana. Um, but she's a little French woman, and she terrifies me. Um, and so that's kind of where my fear of Jules comes into play, is because I know, I know what tiny French women are like. And mind you, at 5'6", I tower over my Nana. I am a beast next to my Nana. And I'm like, no, run away. Run as fast as I can, because I know she can't run. I mean, I was told witch hazel is good for drying out acne. But that's still to be used in moderation. Like, don't just douse it on your face all the time. I'm not dumb. Again, my Nana is a tiny French woman. Where the angrier she gets, like, think tiny, think Bernadette from Big Bang Theory at 75, and that is my Nana. Voice and everything, except my Nana has black hair and brown eyes. Like, my Nana is a short, dark. She's a Bernadette with dark color. She's terrifying. Let's rip this one. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Jules, business idea for you. Screaming skincare routine. You yell at people about how to take care of their face, so you can get aggression release and help people at the same time. Nice. Screaming clean. And yeah, I agree. You don't necessarily need the big expensive products. I can just see it. Like Jules starts doing like Discord meetings and listens to your skincare routine. And then she goes, "No, you're wrong. You shouldn't be treating your face like this." As you're like zooming real close to the camera, like, let's re-out. Re-out. Yeah.
A new time has come. The rise of heroes. Rise up.
uh,
A new time has come. We shall rise undefeated. With sword and shield in our hands. Rise up and vanquish the enemy. The rise of heroes. A new time has come. The rise of heroes.
Time in isolation is what you have preferred. Hate and defamation, and we have gone unheard. Act like our existence is something quite absurd. We shall go the distance, we will not go unheard. Hold us down and torture, you barely said a word. But now the time has come, we will not go unheard. Ask now for forgiveness, our wrath you have incurred. Stand aside and witness, we will not go unheard.
Jules, when you become the Skin Whisperer, I want some credit. This is where you got your start. What's that, New Brunswick? You had a small nuclear explosion?
Our kind in isolation is what you have preferred. Hate and defamation, and we have gone unheard. Act like our existence is something quite absurd. We shall go the distance, we will not go unheard. Hold us down.
A sonic boom.
Ask now for forgiveness, our wrath you have incurred. Stand aside and witness, we will not go unheard.
She has to recover before the Fury can come. Okay. Finished the clump of color. Now I gotta figure out where I want to go. See if there's any more clumps of color. 'Cause it didn't film nearly as much as I thought it would. Let's zoom out. All the Furies! All of it! Oh, well, I had fun with that too, Sume. I had to change insurance, and it didn't activate until it doesn't activate until July 1st. And I ran out of ADHD meds. Monday was my last day, so I had to do that dance. Mine actually helped. Mine they don't take away a lot of the outside symptoms that people would see and associate with ADHD. They take away a lot of my inside symptoms of the choice paralysis, the focus issues. They slow them down. They don't take them away 100%, but they slow them down enough that I can be a reasonable adult and make choices and focus. Look at this. We got a team. We got Jules. Jules looking out for you, trying to make sure you got clear, beautiful skin. We got Dragon in fear of Jules, making sure that you got clear, beautiful skin. And then you got me. I'm therapeutically stabbing things and going, you got this. And run. Oh yeah, and that's the sucky thing. It is luckily the person I go for stimulants, she's super awesome. Like, I keep track and I watch. I don't actually think she bills my insurance because our meetings are like 15 minutes long. She goes, "How you doing?" I go, "Doing pretty good." She's like, "How you sleeping?" And I tell her, sometimes I'm sleeping really good, sometimes not so much. She's like, "How's your eating?" Because Vyvanse is actually also treatment for binge eating disorder. So I have to be aware of that. And it has been noted by several people that they're like, "Oh, hey, you've lost weight." It's like, I still have issues. I'm waiting for allergy season to be done before making my barium appointment to make sure that it is legitimately not my allergies just clogging things. But she's like, "How you eating?" And then I tell her, like, I eat well. Like, I'm not starving by any stretch of the imagination. It just takes me a little longer to eat things. Oh yeah, that's right. Jules is cool and can send links. My brain. Okay, yes, I was going down here. I was going down even further. Even further down the rabbit hole. Okay, let's see if I can get the this is where we're working. So. So today's after stream fun is going to be 4 more drawers for my big chest of craft supplies. Unpeeling and de-stickying 4 more and rinsing out 4 more drawers. And playing with the dogs and making dinner. I'm having an easy afternoon before I go to work today. My goodness. Oh. Oh, too late. I beat you both. I mean, what? Who can help first? I just see Sume. His DM's blowing up. What did I do? Ah. Honestly, when I'm on the Twitch app, I'm not interacting too much. I have it on just to interact, or not interact, but just to hear, to lurk. Mhm. Well, no, it might not seem like I've done a lot of work today, but I've done quite a few. We're in the 200s for the stitches. Most of the time, my meds are fine and they're just there. I noticed mostly that when I don't have them, I get really tired, and I didn't realize how much energy I was using beforehand to control things. But I had also, at that point in time, it had been a 10-day stretch of insanity. Oh. Oh. Mhm. Yay, I get one of my favorites. It's just a spot that's filled with that color. I don't gotta count. I just gotta fill the spot with the color. I love it. my chunky Capricorn is getting filled in. Yeah, and my chunky Capricorn, he's getting filled in. He's gonna start disappearing. Chunka corn. Husband creature is very pleased that the chunky that the chunky Capricorn is getting filled in. Oh my goodness. That's one more. I have a brick of color that goes down to the bottom here. And then I gotta find another spot to work on.